Live streaming is on.
Okay, good morning, everyone. What we're going to do today is just kind of continue working on multiplication. We'll do a couple 3 digits, and then I'll do a 3-digit by 4-digit. And just remember, everything basically is the same. We just have more numbers. The biggest thing is trying to keep your lines in order, your columns. I used some lines on Monday. I'll do it without lines today, but remember, you can certainly always use lines if you have a hard time trying to stay organized. So this first one, maybe I'll do without a line, then I'll go back to lines. Okay, so we're going to start. 4 times 3 is 12. We're going to carry the 1. 4 times 7 is 28. Plus the 1 is 29. We're going to carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. And then remember what I said is try to erase these numbers so you don't get confused. Okay, now we're going over to here, the 1. So we're going to put an X there. We've got 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 7 is 7. And 1 times 3 is 3. Okay? And the last one, remember, we're going to X out that one. So we're starting over here. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry the 1. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 1 is 43. We're going to carry the 4. And 6 times 3 is 18, plus 4 is 22. So we have these all up. It's going to be 2. 9 plus 3 is 12. We're going to carry the 1. So 8 plus 7 is 15, plus 4 is 19, plus 1 is 20. Carry the 2. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. And then we're going to have 22. So you have 229,022 would be the answer. If I did the columns afterwards, you guys, it would something be like this. Okay, so let's do another one, and I'll put the columns in before. Okay, we'll do 581 times, we'll say 266. Okay, I'll go ahead and put the columns in if it makes it a little bit easier for you. Okay. All right. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 8 is 48. We're going to carry the 4. 6 times 5 is 30. Plus the 4 is going to be 34. Okay, and remember, we go back and just erase those numbers at the top. Okay. And we're going to move over a column, so we put an X. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 8 is 48. We're going to carry the 4 this time. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4 is 34. Okay, and now we're going to go to the last one, is the 2, and we're going to go over 2 columns now. Okay, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16, carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. And we're just going to go down and add this up. Oops, let me get this out of the way. 6. That's 14, carry the 1. 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 4 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Carry the 1. 4 plus 6 is 10, plus 3 is 13, plus 1 is 14. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 1. So this one would be 154,546. Okay. Now we'll do a 4-digit times 3. So up here we'll have, say, 621 times, we'll say 353. Okay. And let me put this up here and I'll get the columns in for you. Okay. We'll start over here. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And we're going to get rid of that. Okay, we're going to go over the column. So we're going to X this out. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 1 is 31. Carry the 3. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 3 is 13. Okay. And now we're going to go over 2 spaces. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. Well, that's a 1 now. And 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we'll just take this down. We're going to get 3. That's 11. Carry the 1. 3 plus 8 is 11, plus 1 is 12. Carry the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Carry the 1. 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 1 is 12. And carry the 1. 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So this one we've got 925,213. Okay. So you guys, the biggest thing, if you need the lines, it's certainly okay for you to put them in there. We're trying to get the right answer. And then for me, sometimes it's easier to erase these numbers up here. That way, there's nothing left over when you do it again. Because sometimes you might leave a number there and you add it accidentally. So it might be okay to erase it or just put a line through it, like you have like a 1 up here. And you're done with it, just put a line through it. And the next time in that column, put a different number above it. There's a couple different ways to do it. It's really what works best for you. There isn't a right or wrong way. It's just for you to be able to stay organized. Okay, so I will go ahead and post some practice of 3 and 4 so you can work on that later. I'll be starting science here in a little bit if you're going to join me, and social studies will be after that. So have a great day, guys. No, where's, God darn it, this is crazy. There we go. What?
Streaming is on.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We're going to do a brief science lesson today. It's on atoms, and this is kind of follows up. We did one on Monday on matter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a video afterwards that I want you to watch. In this diagram right here, it's what an atom looks like. So it says atoms are the tiny building blocks of matter. All the matter on Earth is made up of various combinations of atoms. Atoms are the smallest particles of an element that still exist, all the characteristics of this element. It says use terms in the box to label a diagram of atom, then match each term to its definition. Most terms are used twice. So you don't necessarily have to memorize this, but what I want you to do is if you go down right here, these are the answers right here. So I just want you to go in afterwards and fill that in. You can see there's only 6 terms up here, but some are used twice, okay? And the video will kind of explain really the atom in a little more detail. Don't worry about that right now. I want you to go back afterwards and just kind of fill in this chart. And it kind of tells you what each thing does right here. For example, number 1 if you look, it says atom, and the atom would go right there. That's this big definition right here. And then if you go down to like 7, the small particle of an atom creates a negative charge. We look at 7, so negative would be the neutron, or electron, excuse me. 7's the electron. So electron, small particle atom carries a negative charge. Okay, so you'll just get an idea of what all the terms mean, and this would be a good reference. Okay, so I'm going to go down to right here, and this is, we'll read this together. It says an atom apart. Ever walk through a cloud of gnats on a hot summer only to have them follow you, no matter how you swat them, at them, or even if you run, they won't leave you alone? If so, then you have something in common with an atom. Atoms are building blocks of molecules, which combined make up everything, from the smallest one-cell amoeba to every person who's ever lived, to the largest and brightest stars in the sky. Atoms are everywhere. Even way back in ancient Greece, they wondered about atoms. That's the word comes from ancient Greece. The word atomos, when translated in English, means something that cannot be divided any further. So what's an atom look like? Up until very recently, no one could say one way or another. Technically, we can't see individual atoms since there are no microscopes powerful enough. Since technology improves all the time, and it may not be long before we can actually see a whole atom through a special microscope. Even though scientists cannot see atoms with microscopes, they have developed ways to detect them and learn about them. Atoms are made of 3 basic parts: protons, neutrons, and electrons. There is a core or nucleus and an electronic cloud. There is a core nucleus and electronic cloud. The nucleus is made up of positively charged protons and neutral neutrons. The nucleus is held closely together by electromagnetic force. The negatively charged electrons are bound to the nucleus and zap around in a cloud. Do you remember the cloud of gnats? The gnats would be the electrons zipping around you, the nucleus. There are different ways atoms are classified. They can be classified into elements like oxygen, carbon, or hydrogen. All the elements known to man so far can be found on this periodic table. The number of protons an atom has decides a chemical element. The number of electrons defines the atom's chemical properties, like its melting temperature and boiling properties. We talked about that on Monday, the chemical properties. The study of atoms and tiny particles, or even smaller, is called quantum mechanics. Scientists still have much to learn about atoms. Maybe you will enter into the study of quantum mechanics and find a brand new element. Maybe they'll even name it after you. Okay. So these are the questions. What is an atom? So if we go back up to here, atoms are building blocks of molecules which when combined make up everything. So they're the building blocks of molecules. So that's really not in here, but atoms are the tiny particles that make up all matter. Okay, what does the word atomos mean in ancient Greek? That means atoms. Okay, and complete the graphic organizer here. And what I'm going to do, you guys, I'm going to take you down to right here. So atoms have 3 parts, if you remember: protons, neutrons, and electrons. So P, N, E. You can remember that. Protons, neutrons, electrons. Okay. And if you go to number 4, what is quantum mechanics? So if we went back up to this right here, let me see here. The study of atoms and tiny particles, or even smaller, is called quantum mechanics. So it's a study of atoms and tiny particles. Let's go down and see. So right there, you just kind of put that in for, so it's just the study of atoms and tiny particles that are even smaller. And that's called quantum mechanics. Okay. Number 5, if you want to find the chemical elements of an atom, you would need to, and if we go back up into here, So there's different ways atoms are classified. They can be classified in elements like oxygen, carbon, or hydrogen. All elements known to man so far can be found in the periodic table. A number of protons and atoms has decided the chemical element. So you have to look at protons and neutrons. And let me see if we go down to that. It would be, know how many protons it has. So it would be answer B. And the author begins to start off by comparing a cloud of gnats to an atom. In this scenario, what do the gnats represent and what does the person walking the gnats represent? And that we talked about that back up here. So it says right up here in the first, if you walk through a cloud of gnats or hot summer to heaven following, no matter what you swat them, you run, they won't leave you alone. If so, you have seen something in common, such as an atom. Okay, so basically we would be kind of the neutron, the human, and the gnats are all the particles swirling around outside of us. So it says here, do you remember the clouds of gnats? The gnats would be the electrons zipping around you, the nucleus. So the human would be the nucleus, and the gnats or the mosquitoes would be the electrons zipping around us. So that's what you want to put in number 6. And I think it'll say it right down here. The gnats represent the electrons traveling around the nucleus. The person represents the nucleus of the atom, okay? And all the answers are right in here. And the last thing you're going to do is, this is just a crossword. And these are just kind of the definitions that if you go back up to kind of right here, once you fill this in, you should be able to do the crossword. And it's just a review for you guys to see how well you've got this. So when you get done, you can do the crossword is right here. And then if you look down at the bottom, the answers are right here. But try to do it without the answers first, see how far you get. And I will go ahead and post the video that goes to this unit. So you can watch the video and that'll kind of give you a better understanding. It kind of previews this whole lesson. It'll talk about kind of the parts of the atom, the protons, neutrons, electrons, okay? So I'm gonna start social studies here in a little bit. Hope everyone has a nice day and I'll talk to you later.